Today, we are going to be reviewing some of the hottest Formula One takes. But first, welcome to the Crash Happy Podcast, the only Formula One podcast where you don't know if we're actually going to talk about F1. My name is Dan No Skill. I'm joined by Mr. Pulse, Mr. V, sadly no Formula Oh, fuck. I knew I was going to mess it up with the stuttering and the tripping over words. Sadly no Formula Duck today, though. But we do have a Toyota Camry. I, Dan No Skill, completely agree with whatever the Camry just said. If you would like to know why our co-host, not applicable James, has been replaced by a Toyota, head over to our Patreon episodes. We release them every week. They're very good, aren't they, fellas?
They're all right.
I wouldn't know. I've been removed from the Patreon for the last 2 weeks. James,
Mr. V, weren't you fired? Yeah, what were you actually doing here? Weren't you fired last week?
So James would tell you, but my lawyers have other ideas, so I am back.
Well, it doesn't matter
James
now
had
anyway.
No legal basis for anything he was doing.
We don't have James anyway. He's been replaced by a Toyota Camry.
For that.
It's an improvement, to be fair.
Big improvement. We got way more storage space at Crash Happy now.
Or like in the boot.
Yeah.
We store things in the boot of our co-host.
You can transport.
The boot of James wasn't big enough. We needed a bigger boot.
And have you been exploring that one?
Hey, what happened in Brighton?
Okay.
Christ alive.
There's a reason we never delivered on the picture of you two in the bunk beds. We could just never catch them with their hands off each other.
Guys, have you had a good Easter weekend? Have you had a nice break? It's not really a break if you're a full-time YouTuber. There's no such thing as holidays as a YouTuber.
I don't know. Crash Happy paid for my trip to the Bahamas.
So yeah, there's no such thing as a break if you're a YouTuber who has their money stolen by another YouTuber.
I'm constantly siphoning the funds. So, got to enjoy some nice chocolate eggs, although I did buy them today because I'm not paying so much for them. I'm going to get them for £2 instead of £8.
So you just told Wendy, you just like, eggs. Hang on a dear.
Hey, listen, whenever kids come around, they're going to know that Easter is on a Monday, not a Sunday. And they're going to get those nice reduced Easter eggs. Why do I keep saying Christmas? It's Easter. They're going to get the nice reduced Easter eggs. Get that cheap chocolate.
Easter's on a Monday, and also Daddy's got to go to Tesco as soon as it opens.
Just don't think about it too much.
You know, I don't think you're thinking about the big man upstairs when you're doing that. What would Jesus think of you not purchasing your chocolate eggs on his
revival?
He
Go
died?
on.
It's when he came back, I think.
It's when he came back.
No,
yeah, well, it's out by a day. Nobody cares. He'll be fine. He'll get over it, I'm sure. He's had enough time to process it.
In all fairness, it's not even the real day he died. I'm pretty sure it's a pagan holiday anyway, and we just nicked it and said, yeah, Jesus probably was dead around now.
Yeah.
Well, everything is stolen, really. Everything, you know. There's no such thing as an original holiday. They're all stolen from like the pagan religions that came before. And there's no such thing as original ideas. And so today, guys, we're going to be talking through some F1 hot takes that are written by other people that we found online.
So original.
We are now
wondering,
never done before.
We cite our sources here at Crash Happy. It was somewhere on Reddit.
Yep. And that's as far as Dan told us when he made this list. We are now into our like unintentional spring break for Formula One, guys. We have a month until we're back in Miami. And so
a month until Miami and then 3 weeks again after Miami because they can't put the calendar properly because they wanted to make sure that Canada came after Miami. But going to Canada in early May is far too cold. So thanks, guys. That's a great calendar. But anyway, hot takes. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something nice.
Well, I was going to say, we're now thoroughly into spring slop. And
yes,
what better way to kick off spring slop than angering every single person with some of the spiciest Formula 1 hot takes? To be fair, I feel like there's some extra spicy stuff people have said that has even been said on this podcast before. We've got a list here which are some, to be honest, they're probably not going to surprise anyone. They're discussions that come up quite a lot in Formula One. But I think it's now that we've got time, we've got a month before we need to talk about boring stuff like races. We've got time to talk through these and see where the members of Crash Happy lie on these controversial topics, such as the first one we have. No one will ever break Hamilton's record for wins or 7 titles, which obviously him and Schumacher. Because people say, nowadays Formula One, you can't get that kind of dominance. Like, the teams will catch up with the wind tunnel aggregation and stuff like this. It's impossible to be that good. I think this is not, personally, not a hot take, but just a bad take.
It's a pretty terrible take. There's this one driver, I don't know if you ever heard of him, it's called Max Verstappen, and he's still pretty young, and he's over halfway towards Lewis Hamilton's win and championship record. So, I don't know if that's even close to realistic. I think that record is gonna go, and they increase the number of races. They're gonna keep increasing the races, so there's gonna be more races a season. So yeah, it's not sorry, Chief, that one's not gonna work very well.
Certainly the win record, everyone now is starting at 18, like as soon as they're allowed to with the super license, and they're probably going to be carrying on longer, and as you say, there's more races. That win record could be gone, like a few years of dominance. Max Verstappen got 21 wins in 2023.
Like that.
I forget
19,
exactly.
I think.
Yeah, but
19, 20, something.
Yeah.
20% of the record in a season. And so a couple more seasons like that for one person, and like that record for 7 titles is a lot in a career. But again, Max, he got 4, he almost got 5, almost entirely within, wind tunnel testing limits. And that's basically the same as Schumacher. He did 2 and then 5. Like, what's to say that we don't get Max in another period with a good team who just gets another 3?
Yeah, that's all he needs. That's not even a lot at this point.
Because, guys, Max is going to retire. We all know this.
Of course.
He hates the cars. He's going to retire.
Yeah. Off to go to GT3s. I'm sure Max is signing the dotted line now to get himself off to whatever GT3 team fucking exists. I don't know. But yeah, no, that's not happening. He's going to stick around in F1, and he's going to get himself back on top at some point. And when he does, he's going to win 18 races again in a season, and we're all just going to want to off ourselves. But yeah, it's going to happen. And Lewis's record, it's made to be broken. Nobody ever thought anyone was against Schumacher's 91. Took a while, but it got there. Lewis got there, smashed it, got to 7 world titles. Again, nobody was ever going to get to 7 that Schumacher had because X, Y, and Z rule. And it's happened. So it's going to happen, and Lewis's records are going to go eventually.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the win
fans.
record definitely is.
Yeah,
it looks fragile just from Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
quite honestly. But like, if we get people like Kimi Antonelli, like if he is going to keep winning like he has done for the last 2 races, he's only 18, or maybe he's 19 now. I'm not entirely sure. He's 19.
And you guys aren't even prepared for Fernando Alonso to go on a 6 title winning streak starting next year.
Up until he's 51.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't even make him. That would make him like joint oldest champion, I think.
Yeah. But a champion, maybe not. I'm not sure. I think champions are a bit younger. I think we got one in their 50s.
Fangio was 46.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
When he got his last one. But yeah, I'm all for it. But yeah, it's a hot take in the sense that we all disagree with it because it's just wrong. I don't think it's controversial.
I always feel like Formula One somewhat designs their rule sets and whatever so that these kinds of records can be broken. Because like if it's like in a sport, it always looks good when someone breaks a record because it means that like it's getting progressively better over time. Like there's not many F1 records now that stand from years ago.
I know what you're saying. I don't think they're kind of intentionally trying to break records in that sense.
But
It's just a natural way
like
of
the
thinking.
point
Just because there's more
system-
racing now.
But also like the point system changing stuff, like you're always going to get like way more points over your career because of how much more they award than back when it was like 10 points.
Well, points records mean nothing. And now there's just more races and sprint races and stuff. So points records are completely pointless, but wins records. Yeah, I don't know. I don't rate this hot take. I actually didn't even read the second half fix. I just got bored. It's like 3 lines long. But it goes on to say, current wind tunnel testing and the cost cap rules make extended periods of dominance like Merc 2014 to 2020 near impossible to replicate. And then it says, the grid is the closest top to bottom it's ever been. And that may well be the case, but the gap from first to second is not the closest it's ever been. So that's kind of the bit that matters.
I think that also, for context,
that's
that was wrote like mid 2025 when qualifying was very close.
It's like a long-standing thing. I mean, the grid is still close top to bottom. Ignore the last 2 teams, but like, but the front and the midfield are super close together. But like, no one's that close to Mercedes. Guys, let's move on. How about I think this one is controversial. Monaco still deserves to be on the calendar. I'd love to know which sides you fall on this, Dan. Like,
yes, I'm a Monaco truther, man. Look, there are 4 or 5 Grand Prix that, in my opinion, should now never leave the F1 calendar. The rest, apart from Interlagos, I would be happy to rotate every year with another race or something like that. But there are 5 staples, which are Monaco, Silverstone, Monza, Spa, and I don't think there was another one. It was 4 or 5, and I never remember it. I think it's
why not just
actually 4.
give it to Interlagos?
I'll give it to Interlagos.
Just throw Interlagos in there.
I'll throw Interlagos in there because it's so good. But the other 4 are all 4 tracks that were on the original 1950 calendar and are still here today. Now, I know
why we need to go back to Indianapolis
and Switzerland, Sweden, or something
weird.
There's one really weird one on the original 1950 calendar.
It's probably Switzerland would be my guess. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. There's only 6 races. It was Silverstone, Monaco, Indianapolis, Bremgarten in Switzerland. Then we had Spa, Monza, and Reimgur in France.
Oh, France! Yeah, of course, there was France too.
Nobody cares.
But yeah,
about
those
France.
4 and Interlagos because it's just amazing. They should be staples on the calendar, and everything else can like rotate and shift around, and we can have like Hockenheim swap with fucking Sepang for all I care. Like, just have more places.
I agree. Like, Monaco absolutely should be still on the calendar. Like, I don't understand necessarily a lot of the arguments for taking it off. That, you know,
because no one can make a dive bomb up the inside, Mr. Boss.
No, I'm always convinced. Whatever people say, like the race is boring, which it is, or whatever, like any excuse they come up with. Yeah,
loads are boring.
I'm convinced the real reason is all of these people hate playing it on the F1 video game because it's really fucking hard. That is my truth.
They can't get past Sandavort. And if they do, into the Mirabeau.
Man. It's not even a hard corner.
It's actually not. No, it's one of the easier ones.
Yeah.
Monaco absolutely should still be on the calendar. Like, F1, we've been very positive about these regulations because they've made races a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting. On the flip side, not all F1 races need to be incredibly interesting or exciting and have a million overtakes and that. Monaco has something special about it. Qualifying there is my favorite qualifying session of the season, and I'm actually interested to see how it goes this year. Actually, you know, with the new cars, like, 'cause I do think there is a chance that we will see some actual on-track overtaking and racing at Monaco. So yes, it should be on the calendar. Anyone who disagrees with that, I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know what to tell you.
Wet Monaco makes you come. Like, Wet Monaco is just fucking amazing.
Unless you're Charles Leclerc. And then it pisses you off.
He's got his win now. He doesn't need to worry.
Oh, yeah. Only win he'll ever get there.
Okay, chill.
That's a hotter take, honestly.
Yeah.
I can see Charles doing it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Actually, I think he's got a very good chance this year, to be honest. But the car is it's the perfect car for Monaco,
Guys,
at least
just
based on
you
so
wait
far.
for Fernando and Checo to put it on pole because everyone knows Monaco is purely a driver skill track. The regulations don't even matter there.
I don't get it. But to me, does it belong on the calendar?
Yeah,
for
I
you?
completely agree. Monaco, and also I've always made the argument like just the actual Grand Prix on Sunday isn't the whole weekend. Is so much more than that. And so loads of races have a boring Sunday. That's still fine if there's other stuff to get excited for over the weekend. So Monaco's all good. And if we make the cars even smaller, like we should, like way smaller than this year, then it'll continue to be good. Guys, how about speaking of Fernando Alonso, Dan? Hot take: Alonso, if he had better luck throughout his career, would be considered the most complete, or maybe even the best driver of all time.
Well, first of all, let me say
Did you
this
write
guy's.
this?
No, I actually didn't.
Dan
I
knows
found
skills
this
hot
one.
take.
This guy's does count as your Alonso segment. So everyone prepare. 3, 2, 1. Alonso! And many the sewage systems around the world are getting filled up as that segment starts. The
Jokers are on form.
Are they doing it like straight into a storm drain? I don't understand the sewage systems.
Wherever they are to be right now, they're joking it. It doesn't matter if they're on the streets, they're in the car, or
They
they're at
always
home.
make sure to find a drain because they don't want to like disrespect the environment.
I guess that's better than in like the middle of their office if they're listening to this at work. I hope no one listens to this at work in like, a serious context.
You know, there's been like people who said like I do listen to the podcast at work, and they said they've been trying not to like laugh as they're sat in their office, or try not to joke. I don't know.
Yeah, please don't do that.
You got the urges when you hear the countdown start.
Especially when you've got Jabe on your screen.
Oh god, yeah. What a beautiful curves of a Toyota Camry.
I've heard Mr.
I wonder if that's
Pulse
still there.
explores his boot space.
That's the craziest thing you said in a while, Pause. It's going to be fan
Gotta
art of
move
that.
on from other things that I've said.
In all fair, it's like actually probably the best thing he's said so far.
Yeah.
You go in terms of problematicness, that is the least problematic.
The least
Pulse has ever
problematic.
been.
Unless you're James. Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
Problematic,
actually,
yeah,
if you're like YouTube's content system, they might have an issue with your explicit sexual conduct in the podcast post.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
It's
What
fine.
can I say?
Speaking of,
As
speaking
we've
of
know I like
learned
that.
on this podcast, sometimes when James is uncomfortable with something, you just ask him to consent, and he weirdly just says yes.
He just goes along with it. He's got
Do you know what I
we
mean? But
love-
like there was.
coercion.
No, we don't. We didn't even coerce him. We went, "Do you consent to this, James?" He just went, "Yeah, all right." He could have just said no. It would have been fine, but he's happy.
And
to
that
go along
sparked
with
6 months of bullying.
it.
Right, Dan, could you fill out the
Yes.
Alonso segment for us and answer the question, much in the same way that
Alright.
Pulse fills out James's trunk space?
Yeah, the Camry was a bit sticky last time we got in there. I
Not
agree
getting your deposit back from
completely,
Hertz.
but I don't even think this is necessarily a
God damn it.
hot take in any way. Like I think people already think Alonso is one of the most complete drivers. You always see those posts.
No,
right,
it doesn't
where it's
say
like,
one of. It says the most.
the
complete.
most. Yeah, but I
That's
argue
the
like they do.
controversial part.
You know when you get those posts though, and it's like name like you pick like a racecraft, you pick someone's defense, you pick a driver's like I don't know strategy or whatever, right?
Mhm.
For most of those options, Alonso genuinely is the best. Like wheel to wheel, I'd pick Alonso. Attack, I'd pick Alonso. Defense, I'd pick Alonso. Maybe one of the only ones there are definitely people better is like qualifying pace. I probably wouldn't pick Alonso. I'd pick like Senna or Verstappen or something, right? And then or Leclerc. And then but strategy and everything, you'd pick Alonso. So I think if he obviously, won, let's just say for the sake of matter, like let's say he wins a championship with McLaren, a championship with Ferrari, and retires, I think he would genuinely be considered, the most complete driver of all time by a few. I don't think it's that hot of a take.
If he got that 2012 championship at Ferrari, like it would have been the greatest. I still think it would have been the greatest championship win of all time. So I do actually agree. I think we're going to agree with like the vast majority of these. I've just sort of realised.
I'm not going to fucking agree with this one. Are you mental? This is the first one. This is the first one. It's a proper hot take.
Okay, go on then.
The most complete. The most
Who's
complete
the most
driver.
complete?
Who's the most
Probably
complete?
Michael Schumacher.
Fucking Pedro de la Rosa.
But Michael Schumacher had the car, whereas Alonso never had the dominance Schumacher had ever. Like even in Renault, his car wasn't as clear as Schumacher's Ferrari was. And I'm not saying Schumacher's bad. Like Schumacher's a brilliant driver and definitely a contender for the most complete.
I'd say it's very close between the two. I'd say it would be very, very close. Like,
so can I confirm, Pulse? Are you arguing that Alonso is a all-round more complete driver than Michael Schumacher? As an all-rounder. And just while you're deliberating the answer to that, I would say that my main metric for judging this is your ability to win races, because that's overall racing ability.
Then yes. Because Alonso...
I told you the numbers, Dan.
No, okay. Yeah, but forget the numbers because car comes into it, right? But in my opinion, Alonso has actually had to win races from a lot more difficult positions than most of the time when Schumacher won races.
to be fair to Schumacher, won most of his races not from pole position though.
Yeah.
He only had
but that was
60
when
poles
the
90
regulations
wins.
were a bit weird and skewy.
Also, I'd point you to things like the late 90s and seasons like 2006, like battling against Alonso, when Schumacher did not have the best car.
No, I know. Like, I'm not saying Schumacher is excellent, but I'm saying there's a point for this hot take where if you give Alonso a couple more, like right now, you laugh at someone for saying Alonso's better than Schumacher. Like most people wouldn't say that, but if you then give him a couple more of those titles, then maybe he starts to get thrown into that debate, which I think is. I
think you could put him.
I
in
think
the
by
debate
some he
pool.
would be considered it.
I think he'd be in the debate. I think
Not the most
I would go
complete.
the second most complete then. So maybe
But here's
not the
a
most
question,
complete.
Mr. Pulse. Would you
The
say that
almost
Alonso
most
is a more
complete.
complete driver than Max Verstappen?
Right now? Based on like
right now and at
based
any
on-
point. In the
well,
last-
based on if Fernando Alonso would if he got those couple of the championship for Ferrari, then yes, I would have said that. I genuinely would have. I do think he was his peak that good, and even now his drop off is not like any other drivers from his era whose drop off was pretty substantial. He's still competing at a very high level. Like,
I mean, have you seen
admittedly, he's at the
actually-
back of the grid, but
Yeah, but have you
like,
seen recently what Ricardo said? Ricardo has been like talking to some media recently. There's been like a few quotes floating around, and he was like, "Oh, like I saw Fernando, like how he was still racing into his age now, and like Ricardo's like I can't do that. Like I've lost pace,
Yeah.
but he somehow just hasn't."
And Alonso,
point, so,
like we're talking like many different eras of cars, many different driving styles required for these eras of cars, and Fernando has always been one of the top drivers in
And not
each
just in F1 either,
era.
like across
yeah.
hypercar, across fucking Dakar, he like managed to get a podium there.
He would have won. He would have won his first attempt at Indy if his engine didn't blow
Yeah, if
up.
his engine didn't blow up, he was on for the win. Well, he might not have won, but like he was
All right, he'd
running.
have been up there though.
He
Indy
was
is a weird
running for
one
the
where
lead.
kind of anyone can win until the last few
Yeah,
laps.
yeah.
Yeah, but he was in like one of the best positions. Like he was like around that top 5 area, saving fuel, doing slipstream stuff, like where you would think a driver who might win that race would be.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I can respect your arguments. I'm gonna cordially disagree. But
that's
I think,
okay. I'd like wouldn't agree with it now. Like I would say Schumacher is better now.
No, but you agree with the question. You agree with the statement as it's written that if he had better luck.
I maybe don't agree that he would be the most complete driver, because I think there's still an argument for like Prost and Lauda too. Although I'd probably definitely put him above Lauda, like had he won those few other ones.
Jim Clark, Stewart.
I'm gonna ignore Clark and Stewart because it was just
Hamilton.
such a different time.
Well, actually,
no,
not
Lewis.
Hamilton.
I wouldn't even put him above Hamilton now. Come on, man. But like, I think I agree with the statement. He would be in consideration for it, but maybe not considered definitively the most complete driver ever. I still think most people would consider Schumacher or Hamilton, just because most people don't look past that.
Yeah, for me, that's where this falls down. Like, if they put like, he would be considered a top 5 driver, fine. But
yeah,
to put the most complete driver, because then you have to put them in a debate with so many other greats that it's a hot take for sure.
That's true.
It's a hot
but
take.
it's still like, for a 2-time world champion, he is still probably the only guy who even now would get thrown into the debate with those guys, which is just crazy. Like, shows how good he was. There are people out there who will throw Fernando into the best F1 driver of all time debate.
Like I said, like multiple different eras, the guy's been towards the top for like best drivers. Multiple different eras. So, most drivers from the 2000s couldn't handle. Sorry, go on.
I could name throughout F1 history every driver I think is better than Alonso, and the list isn't that long.
No, I can't imagine it would be. I was gonna say, like, most drivers when they moved from Bridgestone to Pirellis, all the fucking older era drivers really struggled with Pirellis. Alonso got on with it fantastic. Moved to hybrids, he did a pretty good job with the shit boxes he was given. Came back in with Alpine, did a very good job.
Right.
Gave Ocon his win.
All right. It's enough glazing.
There's
enough
a
glazing.
chance.
I get it. It's a hot take. Whoever wrote that, good job. You got the discussion much
take.
more than the first two.
Yes.
So I get it, but I'm not. You're not going to convince me. So we should move on. Talking about actually, how about another hot take of another driver from a similar era, or a similar kind of like overall career, Mr. Timothy Raikkonen.
What the Timothy?
That's what it's short for. Tim is short for Timothy. Kim is short for Kimothy. Everyone knows this, Dan.
Oh, of course,
Do an
because
English
Lewis
accent.
Hamilton is dating Kimothy Kardashian.
Exactly.
I'm so stupid.
Yeah. How silly of us.
They clearly don't have schools in Manchester, man. So this one reads... Perfectly replicated that sound effect.
Thanks, man.
This one's a long one. Strap yourself in, guys. Strap on, strap in. Raikkonen is one of the most overrated drivers of all time. His McLaren in 2003 and 5 was a rocket, and a legitimate all-time great would have won one of those years at least. Then he was slightly worse than Massa, who was a great driver but not amazing, and deserved the title in 2007. A little less than Massa deserved it in 2008, but got luckier. He should have put up a title fight with Lotus later.
What?
How dare he not put up a title fight?
Hang on, he kind of did.
Him being rated at the top 20 all time by the F1 website was absurd. I'm going to find this list they're referring to.
Go for it.
Isn't that the list where like they've got Heikki Kovalainen as the 25th best driver of all time or something, just because he was teammates with Lewis Hamilton for a couple of years? I think that's what that one's
they'll
referring
have
to.
power rankings, and Liam Lawson will be like 19th best driver in the world.
Yeah. Fucking up
think
there
we
with
should
that Straws rankings.
Can we just start though? This is a stupid take.
This is fucking ridiculous. This is nonsense. I honestly don't know what's up. His McLaren in 2003 and 5 was a rocket, and a legit all-time great would have won one of these years at least. Didn't he spend like half the races in both seasons at the side of the track because the Mercedes engine kept blowing up?
No, he DNF'd like he was on podium most of the time in 2003.
Okay, 2003
he got
maybe.
like 3 retirements that year.
Yeah. Three. I was actually looking at it today because I was making a joke in a recent video. 2002 was the year that was really bad, where like he DNF'd most of the races. 2003 was like 3 DNFs, and 2005 was only like 2. But there were like quite a lot of mechanical issues he'd have to manage in races, but like they didn't cause retirement.
But also, they had rules back then where if you changed your engine, you had to start at the back of the grid, and he did that quite a lot. Yeah. He did that quite a lot in those 2 years. So it's like, that you can't do much from that. And they didn't have DRS or anything.
Even so, like the McLaren was probably not the best car in those years.
No.
I mean, I would argue, you could argue the Williams was better in 2003 and like, or at least on par.
I would.
And then in 2005, like the Renault was definitely the best car. And then Raikkonen was like making up the difference. And this is coming from an Alonso Glazer.
Also, then he was slightly worse than Massa.
In what world? In what world? Felipe Massa, I'm honestly, sometimes I forget that the spring brain injury happened in 2008 because I would have thought he had brain damage his whole fucking career.
No, it was 2009, wasn't it?
It's 2009. Maybe I'm the one who got hit by a spring at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, that one's like a silly tale. Like Alonso Raikkonen was like beating Massa hand over fist like both years, and Massa in 2007 was awful. Like he really was not that good. Yeah, and I remember a thing from like Brundle at the time where he was saying Massa's a good driver, but then he makes so many mistakes that it undoes any good thing that he actually does. And I think in the race he did it. Massa went off track like 5 laps later, and Brundle was like, "Well, there's my point proven." And yeah,
yep.
Thanks for putting that one up. But
the other thing is Santander Gate as well, which I am a thorough believer in.
Let's not do that again. Like,
it's real.
We've done conspiracy theories.
If Raikkonen was allowed to drive and give setup information and wasn't sabotaged, he definitely would have absolutely swept the 2008 championship.
Look, team bias is real. We don't need a whole other half-hour segment on Santander.
We're not going to do a half-hour segment on it, but it's true.
No, I agree. Like, he probably should have beat Massa in 2008. I'll agree on that one.
He was far better. And then the Lotus comment is just like absolutely fucking stupid. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. Okay, I'm going to give the Lotus comment a tiny bit of validity, considering like a couple years ago, an engineer from Lotus Renault at the time came out and said he reckoned that if they had Fernando or Hamilton in that car, it would have been a title contender in 2012. Do you believe one random man who worked there? I personally don't, but
it was certainly a good
if that guy was actually smart, he would have been working for a better team. So just the thing he's saying.
He's basically looking at like, oh, well, he reckons like Alonso had 2/10 on Raikkonen, but that's just not how it works. Like it comes down to how the car feels and how Raikkonen sets it up and stuff. So just whatever.
I think it's silly. But I would say, because obviously this person's saying Raikkonen's overrated. I certainly wouldn't argue that Raikkonen is underrated.
No.
Like for me, Raikkonen is merely rated, probably correctly. Like, I think a lot of people can appreciate he was a great driver. I don't think anyone's putting him in like a top 5 of all time type list. Maybe if you're talking about more specific things like pace, like single lap pace, then like early career Raikkonen has a strong argument for that kind of thing. But like, as we're talking about in the previous one, like most complete driver, I think anyone's making the argument that Raikkonen is like way up there. Also, quite funny. You mentioned the thing from a couple of years ago when they did the AWS calculation of like the fastest ever drivers.
Yes, that was it.
This is from.
It's a great list from
This
memory.
is from 2020. Can I read you through this? And also, I'll read out how it works.
Please do.
So the question is, who's the fastest F1 driver? AWS machine learning software combed through the timesheets from every qualifying session since 1983, so not even all of the sport, banishing outliers and normalizing data to create a complex network of drivers' performance relative to their teammates. And so we've come up with the answer that the fastest ever qualifier, Ayrton Senna, next up is Michael Schumacher, a 10th slower. So saying that in all of history, no one's ever been within a 10th of Ayrton Senna, even his own teammates who used to outqualify him on a semi-regular basis.
Or Mika Hakkinen, who outqualified him on his
debut.
first day.
Yeah, did it immediately.
I think you'll find, Dan, that Mika Hakkinen, not top 20. But also, they put together this thing and Raikkonen is not in this top 20. Hakkinen is not in this top 20. It has a hefty skew towards people who were on the grid in 2020 because it does have Hamilton, Verstappen, Alonso, Leclerc, Vettel, Hulkenberg is number 12, Bottas, Sainz, Norris is number 15, Ricciardo.
Wait.
Hulkenberg, 12th best driver ever, one podium in 60 years.
It's not best driver, it's just fastest in qualifying.
Sorry.
But as you know, Nico Hulkenberg, definitely the better qualifier than Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh, yeah.
Mika Hakkinen.
100%.
This is stupid as well because the more teammates you have, the worse, theoretically, it should stand you. Because, at that point, Leclerc had 2 teammates.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
one of them being Sebastian Vettel, who's number 10.
At the end of his career.
Yes. We ignore that part. He's going to ignore that part. And the other one
was
is
the other-
Carlos Sainz, who's number 14.
No, it wasn't Carlos Sainz at that point.
Oh,
So it's an
Wasn't it?
accurate list then.
Was it Giovinazzi or Ericsson? Why am I mixing this up?
Is Ericsson it?
Ericsson
He
was
was
his teammate,
fucking
yeah.
terrible.
No, the science. Trust the system, Dan. Gotta trust the system.
In all
The
fairness,
system
with it
never
being
lies.
AI machine learning, I'm surprised Tung Sahur wasn't answer number 1.
Also, clearly, they've just given the people what they want. They're like, oh, you'll never guess. Ayrton Senna, quickest driver of all time.
Whoa.
Bet you never heard of him before. It's just...
Now, if Johnny Herbert had been number 1, I would have been impressed.
But also, I love these numbers. They suggest that on average pace, Max Verstappen would always be 0.28 slower than Senna. Max
know what?
Verstappen would not be happy if you told him that.
If you put Senna in the car
yours.
right now, I can guarantee you Verstappen will go faster than him.
Well, yeah, Senna's not going anywhere, is he?
Christ. But yeah, going back to the hot take, I think it is a hot take. I personally don't think Raikkonen's overrated, nor do I think he's underrated. I think people respect his career. He's not one of the absolute all-time greats, but he's certainly a great driver.
I think I understand where they're coming from in terms of for a one-time champion, he is rated very highly. You would not put Raikkonen on the same level as Button, Villeneuve, Norris, Hill, Damon, not obviously the good one. So I understand kind of where they're coming from, but there is a reason for that. He was very, very good.
Yeah, his peak was at the same time as many other great drivers' peak. So
yeah,
the noughties was a tough time to try and win stuff. But no, I think we can move on. It's enough talk about drivers, guys. How about talking about places and tracks? Similar to the one about Monaco, but this person said most European tracks produce lackluster races with today's cars. This was obviously last year, but similar. Street circuits like Jeddah and Las Vegas are superior. As we all know, Jeddah, better track than Spa and Silverstone.
I'm
Everybody
honestly
loves
surprised I assume you agree with that, Mr. V, because Jeddah has a lot of medium speed corners.
It actually doesn't.
Are they high speed corners then?
Yes.
Oh.
Medium speed now, though.
I'm trying to contain my rage. I like Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas is a very silly track. It's obviously really simple, but I just think it's fun, and it's fun to go to a venue like that. It's a cool city just to host a race, and it makes a lot of sense.
If you're going to do a street circuit, it does doing a street circuit right, where it's a real spectacle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jeddah, not a street circuit. Technically they are public roads, but not really. Mate, if the Jeddah Corniche track split off from the mainland and then sunk into the Arabian Gulf, all the people who were there get warnings they can evacuate, but the world wouldn't weep. Not the whole city, just the Jeddah Corniche circuit.
Oh, God. Right.
Just the circuit.
You're a lot kinder than Mr. Pulse. He would just
Sink the city.
yeah.
Make it like
Let
Atlantis.
ash rise from the ground to destroy these people.
Make that shit like Atlantis. But I think Jeddah's not even produced like a good race, like realistically. Like, I can't think of a. It's
2021.
No,
Jeddah
it's
2021. Are you mental?
all right. What was
fantastic.
actually good about the race?
The back and forth between Hamilton and Verstappen for the entire thing.
Was it actually? Not much
was
actually
fun.
happened.
That was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch, but it wasn't a good race.
That was
It was-
artificial
Yeah,
racing.
if it's
I'll
fun
have
to
you
watch,
guys.
it
That
is
was
a good race.
artificial.
That's the whole point. It just has to be fun to watch.
Right. Okay, yeah.
I don't
okay,
need anything. I
I'll
just
give
need it
it
to be
that
fun.
one, but
Yeah, it was a good race.
whatever. Vegas though has actually produced some good races, like
Every race
actual
so far.
good races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has been
Like I actually think it is a very good track and does produce good races with.
But I also, because I always
Guys,
make
scenery.
Secret, though.
Go on then.
Little secret.
What?
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. When a track is new, you're almost guaranteed a good race because the drivers are bad at the track. When they go to a track every single year and learn it like the back of their hand and do it all through junior formula, like most of the European circuits, it means the races are going to be more boring because they're more optimized at the track. It's like if you got a bunch of Super Mario speedrunners, right? And the most optimized game is the first one because they've been playing it for 40 fucking years.
Very true.
So
Very true.
like,
It's very true.
you know, that's why I think we should rotate a lot more tracks. Like if you're throwing them at like Sepang one year and then back to fucking Hockenheim for the next, and then back to Spain for the next one, they're always going to be having to learn something and do something different. It would make it a lot harder, and you'd get better races because people make more mistakes.
It's very true, and I think we saw exactly that point proven when we went to Mugello in 2020, and everyone had no idea what's going on. We had like a 7-car pileup on a restart. So yeah, I kind of agree that we should like be rotating venues more to keep things more fresh because like the over optimization that F1 teams do kind of feeds into the problem of like making things more predictable. But also this argument falls down. I guess they've hedged their argument a bit by saying most European tracks and didn't actually name which ones, because certainly not all European tracks. Like if we consider places like Silverstone, it much more consistently produces good races than Jeddah, I would say.
Banger every year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great race
Monza
every year.
is usually like a solid race.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monza's a solid
Red Bull Ring.
weekend.
I'm a huge fan of Red
Red Bull
Bull
Ring's
Ring.
a banger.
whenever
Yeah,
there's-
always a banger. Even weirdly, actually, and this is a bit of a strange one, but usually Hungary has some like good moments.
It has some great races. Budapest has had some fantastic races over the years. Last year's was a bit terrible, but in general, Budapest has had a very solid run of great races. And I
Soviets
think
know
a
how to build
lot.
track.
I got something right. But a lot of the European races, I think, are great tracks. Spa's like an iconic circuit that was hurt by the last set of regulations. But before that, Spa produced great races a lot. I'd even say Barcelona has produced some great races, especially with the new, going back to the original layout. That has produced some fantastic races when it went back to that. So it's another bad take. It's another bad take.
It's just a shame that people blame venues for the problems when they should be blaming their enormous overweight cars. That's the problem.
I really thought, I was like thinking like Zach Brown, Stefano Dominicali's pretty skinny, so he's not on about him. And then like I clocked you were talking about the cars.
Yes. Yeah, mate, the cars need to go back to like really the size they were in like the 90s, personally. They've just been too big since for a long time.
Let's just put them in a
the
Ford
first three
KA.
The first three races this year have shown that going to smaller cars has improved the races.
Can we not like be accepting this silly concession that Formula 1's given us? The cars are not smaller. I don't
slightly smaller.
Yeah, but
They are.
10 millimeters, 100 millimeters. Fuck off. Take a meter off that thing, and then we can talk. I will not be given these hand-me-down concessions from Formula 1.
If I was Formula Duck, I would say 100 millimeters is 1 kilometer shorter cars. So I don't know what you're complaining about.
Did you see the post of the subreddit? There's a caption I posted on subreddit, and it was it was Formula Duck when Usain Bolt runs a 1 kilometer in 9.5 seconds.
And what was the picture?
It was that kid, and he was like, I have this. I'm sure for the video version of this, we can get that up on screen.
Yeah, for audio listeners, Mr. V did like a shocked face, basically. I mean, it's not hard to imagine.
I think I would be quite shocked if someone ran a kilometer in 9 seconds. But yeah. No, but yeah, there's tons of good European tracks. Like, yes, there's some tracks in Europe which like really, really were not suited to modern Formula One. Like, as soon as they brought Imola back, Imola was just not good for modern Formula One.
Weirdly, last year's Imola, even though the regulations were at their worst, was really fucking good, though.
But that's the thing, like, any track can have a good race. It's kind of luck, almost.
Yeah.
Because just as, like, performance shifts up and down throughout the year, if you just get to the point where the top two cars are very similar, it doesn't matter where you go, if they basically have the exact same speed car with two decent drivers, you are going to have a good race. And so it is just luck. We've had some bad luck at European races, but not all of them. Like, we've still had good races in Europe every single year and loads of storied moments.
And we've had some shit street circuits. Like Baku, I think, apart from last year, Baku for like 2-3 years on the run was pretty rubbish.
Baku's awful. I hate Baku.
I will always defend Baku. I will always defend Baku.
I like it as a track. It's one of the few street circuits I'd keep, but I would say, like, since it's not been a new spectacle anymore and the drivers are good at it now, like, it's not actually, and it's also on junior formula calendars, it's not actually been like as good as it sort of was when it first came in.
That's fair. I will still defend Baku. And also, Baku is a proper street track. I think, personally, any track where they say it's a street track and it's not a real street track, they should execute the people who've organized it and said that. Like, Jeddah, Miami, all of those. If anyone says the word street track, we take them out of the back and we shoot them in the back of the head. We've got to stop using these terms. We've got to throw them around like that. It's not correct.
Yeah.
It's ethically, like, undefendable. All right. I think we should move on to another hot take, guys.
Old man shouts at cloud.
It's important! Build a career on this, Dan. It's important. Let's move on to another hot take. This one, Dan, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This person writes, Lance Stroll is a reasonably competent midfield driver.
Let me just do
Now,
this.
you've never talked about Lance Stroll on the podcast before, but I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on him. Obviously, teammate to your favourite driver. Regularly outperforms him.
Yeah. Has it been like nearly 100 Grand Prix since he last out-qualified Fernando or something nuts? Let's just say this. If you want a reasonably competent midfield driver, I give you Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda, and they're not very good. Lance Stroll is utter wank. He's out in... Look, if you're a reasonably competent midfield driver, you're pushing Q3 every week. Like, you're on the fringes of it if you're not getting in it, and you're, like, pushing the points every week. Lance Stroll qualifies P17 to P22 now, or like, P20 back in the day. Drives round, maybe getting up to 14th if he's lucky, and then on his best days, a magical safety car will teleport him into the points. And that is it. That is Lance Stroll's reasonable competence, is that when he's not in the bin, he's driving around praying he gets teleported into the points.
Mr. Pulse, do you have any different thoughts? I mean, just before we hit record, you were saying that you would put Stroll top 5 all time, most complete drivers.
It's absolutely Canada's greatest export in Formula One history, I'd say, Lance Stroll.
I mean, the competition's not that. Gilles Villeneuve and then...
Gilles Villeneuve, yeah.
Gilles Villeneuve's all right.
I was going to say I'd take Jacques Villeneuve over Lance, but I don't know.
No, that was my joke.
Oh, God.
I was going to go, Gilles Villeneuve's fine.
Paul, sorry, your thoughts
better than
on Mr.
Latifi, I guess. Lance Stroll would have been a reasonably competent midfield driver when they had like Haryanto, fucking I don't Gutierrez on the grid.
I'll give you this. I'll give you this.
He would have been 10 years ago, but he's not.
No. I'll give him one more. Lance Stroll in the first 4 to 5 seasons of his career was a reasonably competent midfield driver.
I can agree with that.
His debut year actually was good. Like, I will say, Lance Stroll's debut year, no issues with that. Couple mistakes, but like you could write that off as any rookie would make those. His second year, the Williams was shit, and he beat his teammate, so you can't really argue. And then, like, in the Racing Point, he backed up Perez pretty well. But since
he just
partnering with Vettel and Alonso, he has just... Huh? Oh, sorry. Bloody hell.
You're throwing him off now.
Wait. Who was he teammates with?
When?
Lost? At Racing Point.
Yeah,
Sergio Perez.
Was teammates, but I was just wondering what you said he did to him.
I said what did I even say? I don't know.
Said you backed him up.
He didn't edge him, no.
Oh, backed him up? Okay. I'm sorry, I got really, I had like a little, I'm done now.
Danny, you okay?
Are you fine?
Kind of, this is the view that someone gives you like immediately before they have a stroke.
You're having like an out-of-body experience right now.
I think you guys should take over from whatever I was saying.
I think I do agree the phrase reasonably competent midfield driver implies like pretty much middle of the pack or maybe on the slightly the good side of that, which I would give to someone currently like a Hulkenberg or
Albon.
Like, what'd you say?
Albon?
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. Like, somewhere in the middle, as you say, like, given like a competitive midfield car can like get into Q3 from time to time, is not quite considered one of the like top of the midfield, but like really solid and like deserves to get a contract renewal kind of thing. Current Lance Stroll, a few years ago I would have defended Lance Stroll because people used to pile in on him kind of too early in his career when he was still doing some impressive things. He hasn't done anything impressive for a while, so I'm gonna say this is a straight up bad take. It's a hot take for sure if someone's saying it, if they're bringing that to a conversation. Yeah, it's just
Yep, agreed. Yeah.
Well, Pulse, how about this one for you? This is kind of going the other way. And it just says people love Senna blindly because he died.
Why would you read that to me? Because he died? Senna's was...
Why do you focus on that part?
Well, actually, he read it to you, Pulse, because you famously hated his boss when he died.
Fuck's sake. But obviously this is saying that, like, basically it's saying that Senna is remembered more fondly than he would have been if he had a longer career and carried on.
I get that. And I get that because it's one of those things where it's like we never saw the end of his career where he fell off from his peak, and we never saw those last few years where you're just like, you gotta go, dude. Why are you still here? So I do get that, but I don't necessarily agree with it. I think people loved Senna because he was fucking fast. And he was a rapid driver. And he was a driver, like, for the time that he was in, was, I would say, how you would imagine drivers to be at that era, which was, like, aggressive, punted people off. If Senna was in... My take for this one my change to this one would be, if Senna was in F1 today, people would hate him because of how he drove the car, because he was so aggressive.
Nah.
And he would... I agree. No, I think because he would push someone off track.
Similar to someone like a Verstappen, honestly. Yeah.
Maybe, but he was... Now they love him. But he was pretty brutal.
There's been a lot of people who love Verstappen.
Yeah. But they wouldn't love him blindly, like they do, like people blindly love Senna. The fucking people gone about it now, like how Senna's their idol. Like, he died about 20 years before you were born. What do you mean he's your idol? And it is partially because he died, so I kind of agree with it, but not entirely. I think the era he was in helped as well. I don't know about you guys on that.
I think this is a pretty cut and dry answer because he died, everyone ignores the fact he's a paedophile! He's done the reverse of Jimmy fucking Savile. Jimmy Savile died, and everyone started hating him because it all came out. Senna dies, and everyone's lording over him because he's dead and he can't be a nonce. He's a fucking nonce, bro. That'll be like me saying, my idol's Gary fucking Glitter. Fuck off.
I think not quite the same reasons as Dan. But I kind of agree with you, Pulse, that like, for me, I find it a little bit annoying in a way how much Formula One pushes Senna as like the driver of all time, like the absolute idol, the pinnacle of what a driver can be. I personally, if I was like Alain Prost nowadays and I watched all this coverage and they showed all like these things about Senna's career and stuff, I'd be sat there being like, the fuck? Like, I went head to head with him and I was just as good. Like, the fuck do you mean? Like,
better, actually.
Yeah, so I
the two reasons: better driver, and he didn't touch kids.
That we know of. That's
right.
There's nothing to suggest he did.
Cover ourselves from the future.
Nothing to suggest he did.
Well, honestly, given how Formula One always likes to bring up Senna often, I can't wait for them to do their special Jeffrey Epstein segments in recent years, where they'll just like bring him up. Maybe they'll bring up Briatore and like his connections.
All right.
So that's going to be interesting.
But yeah, I do think Senna is given this weird kind of mythical status in the sport. And Senna was good, but it's not like imagine if it was back in the day and everyone else had won like 1-2 championships and then he came in and won like 6 back-to-back starting from his rookie season, then yeah, fine. But like he came into the sport and he was one of the best drivers in the sport, but he was not like head and shoulders above the rest of the grid. Like there were people just actively competing with him and on a regular basis outdoing him. But nowadays, he's talked about as if he was this like untouchable, fastest to ever do it kind of driver, and it's just not true. Like I'm not trying to take away from how good he was, but he's often talked about like he exists in his own category, and it's just not the case.
I mean,
and the fact that
even Uncle Nige could go somewhat toe to toe with him.
It's the 5th greatest driver of all time, Dan. What would you expect? Of course he would.
But like, you know, every time we go to Imola, we have to talk about Senna. Every time we go to Brazil, we have to talk about Senna. Every time it's like whatever weekend is in the year is the anniversary of his death, we have to talk about Senna. And it just gets brought up all the time by Formula One, like multiple weekends a year. And it's honestly too much. Like, please remember some other drivers for once. There's been so many who died on track if that's what you want. Like, please just focus on some of them for once. That's all I want.
And, they love to remember Senna, but they also love to forget who he had relations with.
Jeez. Yes, Dan. His 15-year-old
Yes, we get it.
I will keep drilling this in until we stop glazing Senna, because
no one's glazing Senna. Do you mean the whole sport?
the populace do, the F1 do, and it's wrong. It would be like the BBC every time Top of the Pops gets brought up, putting a big fucking "and we miss you, Jimmy" on the screen. It is just like that. There is no difference. It pisses me off to no end.
Slightly different, but very similar.
Yes.
Let's talk about someone else. Here, guys, we've got another driver, a current driver, Mr. Charles Leclerc. This person on Reddit says, Leclerc will not be the driver's champion if he stays with Ferrari. This was written last year. What do you guys make of this? Do you ever see a Leclerc championship in red? Do you ever see anyone winning a championship in a Ferrari ever again?
It's getting, I think it's getting close to not happening. That's kind of why I put this in, was because, I don't know how much. I mean, obviously, like Leclerc is being Hamilton, so that right now, by the looks of it, so I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. But like, it's getting to the point where you're thinking, how much longer can Charles Leclerc be the fastest driver at Ferrari?
Sure.
I think right now he is still the faster driver of the two, and I think I'm saying
of the two, but what I'm sort of hinting at is Behrman coming in.
When time comes and passes him by.
Antonelli.
Antonelli, yeah.
Loves getting Italian.
Yeah. But
Well, as we know, though, from history, if you do put Antonelli in a Ferrari, he is going to die because everyone who's Italian and drives Ferrari in Formula One does end up dead.
Everyone ends up dead eventually, Dan. You may as well drive a Ferrari in the meantime.
Well, it's like taken out in the prancing horse.
All I'm saying is I've not ended up dead yet, so I could be the exception.
I didn't realize you had Italian heritage.
No. I mean, like, just you said everyone ends up dead eventually. Like, maybe I don't.
Okay.
Right.
You
as
can't
opposed to being
prove
immortal, like
this.
you're going for the rest of time.
Maybe he'll turn
Yeah,
into
exactly.
Maybe he'll turn into a giant worm and live for 12,000 years.
Well, no,
I've been reading June lately.
Yeah, I could tell.
Mr. Pulse. Mr. Pulse. It's like April 28th, 2033 is going to be an interesting day for you. But for me, maybe I keep going.
Well, are you going to take me out? Are you going to like put me out to pasture?
Maybe stop
Stay away
frying
from the
all your
windows?
meat in butter. That's all I suggest.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Charles Leclerc, shall we talk about him? Charles Leclerc will not win the Drivers' Champion if he stays at Ferrari. I think I want him to, but I agree. I don't think he's going to win the drive. Ferrari are very, very close, but for whatever reason, it doesn't matter how close they get, they do something silly and it goes horribly wrong. And time is going against Charles. The next generation of drivers are here. If Behrman or Antonelli, like you said, go in there, they're going to be there, and Ferrari will end up building around them, and they're going to move on from Charles Leclerc. So it's a hot take, but it's one that I agree with. It is one I ultimately agree with, unless Ferrari, after Miami, dominate the rest of the season, which could happen.
I think Leclerc could have a few more years at Ferrari where he would be even if they brought Behrman in. Like, I don't necessarily, or Antonelli,
It'd be a couple
I
of
don't necessarily
seasons.
think
Yeah,
Leclerc will be the slower of those two. I think it'd be closer than it is to Hamilton or Vettel or whatever.
It's more our Ferrari in a position where they can win a world championship
Exactly.
without doing something silly, and they're just not.
They got the funky rear wing to come though.
Ferrari fan.
It's almost 20 years of pain.
I'm going to disagree. I think this is actually a good hot take. Like, real nice conversation starter for your Formula One dinner parties. Personally, I think Charles Leclerc has like a great opportunity. We obviously don't know the future. We don't know how team development is going to go. Like, this might be Mercedes year, and then McLaren are back on top, and then it's like, it really depends on that. But it's certainly looking like we could have a strong year for Ferrari. I mean, even we've only had 3 races. We've still got 19.
21.
We've got 19 to go.
Oh shit! Yeah, they're too cancelled.
Wait, is it not? Oh wait, I'm stupid.
Yeah, same, dude. Same.
No, I thought I had accounted for the cancelled ones, but I just can't do maths.
We have 19 races to go, and we have this weird month off, but it's not a shutdown month, so teams are still working. So, actually, this Mercedes is looking like the strongest car comfortably at the moment, but like this year is still young, so we don't know. But also, the way that development goes in the next couple of years, who's to say that Ferrari's not the quickest car next year, that kind of thing. So I think Charles is an excellent opportunity. If you had said this to me last year, I would have been less optimistic. So I'd be like, Ferrari just doesn't have it. They don't have what it takes. But actually now they're in a strong position, and with all the talk about potential regulation changes coming in, they all seem to benefit Ferrari if anything like that does happen. To avoid anyone having to see super thing, the races will just be a drag race to the first corner, and that's it. And Charles Leclerc's going to win the next 19 races in a row.
But Mr. V, the Ferrari cycle has been every other year they are good.
2028 is Leclerc's year. He's still contracted.
And now this is a rumor from an FP1 Will video, but supposedly he knows someone who works at Haas who has said
he knows
Ollie
the one
Behrman,
employee at Haas.
Yeah, but this person, no, someone who's actually close to Ollie Behrman. He said in the video, this is like me quoting an FP1 Will video, well, paraphrasing an FP1 Will video, I should say. He's saying, no, someone I think close to Behrman who said Behrman will not be driving for Haas next year, which strongly hints at Behrman will be at Ferrari next year, which means Hamilton is probably... So maybe Charles Leclerc doesn't have that much time before there's someone tickling his toes.
I guess even so, like those first couple of years for Behrman's going to be learning years. Yeah, if learning years at Ferrari in a top team, it's not just going to go there and
it's not like someone's come into Ferrari and beat someone who we all thought was on the top of their form before, Sebastian Vettel.
Sebastian Vettel. Nobody cares about him. He's the most forgettable 4-time world champion of all time.
Evidently, because we always forget him.
Mr. V said that. You make a good point. Like, there are going to be potentially some slight tweaks to the regulations, which may help Ferrari. They may not. We don't know. If it does help Ferrari, then there is a chance that he can pull it back this year. If the car is there and the team don't fuck it up, Leclerc can win the Drivers' Championship for Ferrari. I just don't think they will. That's the main thing. I feel like I'm asking a lot from Ferrari, which is what I'm saying is why I don't think it will happen.
Oh, right,
but there is a chance that it can happen, but Ferrari will do whatever it takes to make sure that it doesn't happen, because that's the Ferrari way.
Happen, but Ferrari need to do these two things they famously cannot do.
Put tires on in a pit stop, for God's sake. So no, I want him to do it, and Ferrari are so close, but he's not going to do
it. Great optimism. For
I would say it's the only person who doesn't support Ferrari here. I think he will.
See, this is why you don't support Ferrari, because you aren't in the hole.
Yeah, maybe.
You have, like the IQ graph thing, but it's like non-Ferrari fans. It's we don't think Ferrari are going to win. Then it's like in the middle, like we think Ferrari are going to win, and then it's going to be like elite Ferrari fans. We don't think Ferrari are going to win because you just know so well that they're going to fuck it up.
There's something. There's going to be something.
I'm happy in my ignorance. I'm living a blissful life. I can tell you that much. But anyway, guys, we've run through some hot takes. I think before we go, I'd love to know: do you guys have any hot takes that we haven't heard before? We've heard a lot of hot takes on this podcast in the last 6 months, but have you got anything spicy that we're gonna like leave people with to potentially rage bait them before we head on?
Yeah, Sergio Perez, top 5 on the grid right now.
Actually, fuck.
Right, let's just end it. We're done. just
I was gonna say, if you guys. Well, for the people at home, if you'd like to hear not some hot takes, but actually the coldest takes possible, and we're not saying just like boring takes, but we are going to try and compete to find the single coldest take ever in Formula 1. So the take that nobody could possibly disagree with. We're going to do that over on the Patreon for our special episode this week. If you would like to listen to that, you can head on over to the Patreon and become a Patreon for only £5 a month. We have
it's
tons of
I think they're called
stuff.
the Crashers, but we should probably change it to like Elite Jork Squad member or something.
So sorry,
I mean we just call them the Jorkers.
So YouTube viewers are Jorkers, but then they're Crashers over on Patreon.
Yeah, but like they should really be like, because mate, I don't know if you look at the Patreon group chat, but oh my god, they're feral.
Well, and they're super civil on YouTube, yeah.
Well, it's kind of I noticed same usernames popping up on both, to be honest.
Fair. And then the Spotify comment section, don't even get me started, mate.
I don't think I've read it.
No, there's no comment. No one leaves comments on Spotify. Like, why would you?
Does that?
Wait, actually, before we end, I'm gonna find our playlist on Spotify.
A comment. Find us a comment.
Let me listen to last week. It doesn't say if the episode has comments until you click on it.
It definitely does. Every time I've had
last week we have 9 comments. Interesting.
Yay.
Oh.
Which are mostly asking, have I been fired?
Oh, that's the other thing. Remember the Camry? You can find out that on the Patreon too. I did that whole thing at the start.
Where the hell the Camry comes from. And also tons of other exclusive content. Every time we release a non-podcast thing, but like a gaming episode, there's also a special version of that over on the Patreon. We always record twice as long, so half of it is on YouTube and half of it is extra special for the people who really love us. You could be one of them too.
And we love you back. We're parasocial with only our Patreon members.
When Dan does the countdown over there, he lets you go like 2 or 3 times.
You know that Ludwig video where it's like, I am not your friend. For the Patreon members, it says, I am your friend.
I'm not your friend, brackets, you don't pay me enough. Anyway, you can head over for that, but obviously loads more stuff coming. We'll be filling out this winter break with all kinds of... Every time I say filling out now, I can't
winter
help.
Break?
Winter?
It's still fucking freezing where I am anyway, so it doesn't feel like the spring. We're going to be filling out the spring break with all kinds of things every single week. We're not going anywhere. Hopefully you guys will be joining me back here next week.
Of course.
Something.
For the not Bahrain Grand Prix.
Oh, is that what was it going to be next week?
It was going to be next week.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway. Thank you guys, Mr. Paulson, Dan, for joining me. I'm Mr. V. See ya.